Welcome to Figuring Out Homestead Life with Ginny and Allison.
Hi, Allison.
Hi, Ginny.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
We have snow on the ground here.
We have little bits of snow, probably not as much as you. It snowed several times, but it keeps melting away, thankfully. But
That's good. We had snow yesterday morning, and I didn't realize it was supposed to snow overnight. And Randy sent me a text on his way to work saying that the highway was really bad. And by the time I went into work, the highway was fine.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
You look very pretty today.
I curled my hair.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I got an early birthday present. I got one of those beach waver curling iron things.
Oh, okay.
It spins it so you don't have to twist the curling iron.
Oh.
And it is so much faster.
I wonder if that's something I would even be able to use. I'm not very good with hair or makeup, as you can see if you're watching.
You're beautiful and you don't need hair and makeup. If I don't put eyeliner or mascara on, my eyeballs just disappear into my face. And
Oh my gosh.
I'm playing with the light for a minute. There, now I'm not so
showing off your beautiful hair and face makeup.
I only have eyeliner and mascara and a little bit of eyeshadow. That's all I have on.
I wish I was one of the girls like that. Cause my sister does really nice hair, makeup, all that. That's just it's never been me. I want it to be sometimes, but I'm just I don't know. It's just not who I am, I guess.
It's not typically. This is not the people who come to the farm. This is not what they see. But and somehow my daughter inherited the gene where her hair is always really nice and her makeup is does really nice makeup, and it's I can do eyeliner and mascara. I'm good.
Yeah, that's about all. Yeah.
And some people.
No, go.
Basic. I was gonna say some people would say I don't even know how to do eyeliner. So.
Yeah, that's if I want to be really fancy, huh?
I said, are you petting dogs? But continue.
I'm petting my cat, and she won't leave me alone. And if I don't pet her, she's gonna meow loudly. So she sought me out in here.
Lucky and Storm are playing at my feet, so. And the clock.
Menagerie of
animals.
Is
an hour fast.
Oh yeah, I would never have noticed that. That's funny. And I see Santa up there. You have some Christmas decorations out.
Yeah. Yep. We still don't have our tree up, but that's okay. It's okay.
Do you do a fake tree?
There's heavy sigh. We bought a fake tree last year. I am so anti-fake tree, it's not funny. But with the cost of trees, cutting down a Christmas tree, it didn't make sense for us to spend $80 on a tree and then throw it away. Well, technically we would feed it to the goats, but...
Right.
So we caved and got a fake tree last year. And that tree will last us, knock on wood, several years.
Yeah, because we just went last night and bought our tree. It's a real tree. And we went to a couple different places. The first place, we went $95, but the trees were all decrepit. So I was like, I'm not paying $95 for this decrepit tree.
That's okay, guys. Yeah, it's...
So then we went to a second place, which they were nicer, but they were still $95. And that wasn't even cutting it yourself. It was just in a parking lot. So, yeah it has gotten kind of expensive.
Definitely. And when the needles fall off and it makes a mess, and
That that's fine. I mean, that's I feel I'm good with, because then you get the smell too, so you have to take your pros with your cons. So, Billy's looking for your dog. She's running around the room looking for this dog. dear.
They're playing like crazy, and it's like silly puppies.
So what else
Silly
has been
puppies.
going on with you guys since we last talked, which I feel like has been a while?
I think we talked about the my fall. It was a fall purchase of meat chickens.
Yes.
I will never do that again. There's 2 inches of snow on the ground. They don't want to be outside, and they leave for freezer camp in 12 days.
Oh, okay.
But tomorrow
Are you having the Amish people do those ones too? Okay.
Yes. Our water is shut off mostly to the barn. Like all the outlying buildings, the water's shut off. So it is supposed to be 50 degrees tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today it's 34. We don't really want to process chickens when it's this cold out.
No. Yeah, that sounds not fun.
No. So I will never buy fall chickens again. You heard it here. Never. Randy can hold me to that. I think we have some barn cats. We've added some some barn cats that we acquired. We now have 6 barn cats.
Ah.
Only 2 are friendly.
Oh, okay. The mother and the daughter, the original,
Yeah.
the first 2? Yeah.
Yes, Mama Mia and Mitzi.
Ah.
I thought that was funny. Mama Mia.
So the other one's just like skittish, or
Mean.
are they mean?
Feral. They're more of a feral cat, and the mom and the baby are. I guess they were They were outside cats, but they were loved.
Yeah.
So they are super friendly. And the other 3 of them are siblings, and then there's a gray cat from the same colony, and the gray cat is named Grumpy.
I think that's the one I said that looked like his name should be Tank.
He's a big he could be Tank. He could be Grumpy Tank.
GT.
Yeah, and then Houdini is the one that got out of the cage, the crate, ahead of schedule. So she's still down there around the barn, but she runs and hides whenever I come down.
Okay.
And then the other 2, I'm not sure if they're male or female, so I haven't named them yet. But the 3 that are siblings, Houdini and the other 2, they're all black, and they have various like white patches. So Houdini has white on her nose. There's another one that has a little bit of white on its chin, and the other one has a black face and then white on its chest. Those 2, I don't know which one is boy and which one's girl. I could just come up with generic names that don't matter.
Yeah, well.
So, yeah. So we got the...
How are the dogs doing with them?
They're doing great with Mia and Mitzi. They're being really good, which is awesome, because we were worried about that. They go up to the crate that Grumpy Tank is in, and the other 2 cats that are still in the crate, and they just get hissed at, and so they kind of back off.
Yeah.
So I don't think Storm will do anything to them. Knock on wood. I'm not knocking on wood because Storm will bark. So I think we'll be okay once we release them, but we're keeping them in the crate for 2 to 3 weeks, just so they get used to this is home.
Yeah. Cool.
We have put the boy goats in. Well, we moved PJ in with the girls in the main barn, and we moved 3 of the girls out with Ludwig, to the boy goat barn. And then we have 3 visiting goats.
Oh, wow.
The Mountain Rose Trail Farm, the girls that have the horse trail. We are boarding their goats and breeding them while they're here.
Oh,
so
cool.
They'll be here until April. So
That's fun.
Yes. Yeah, they're sweet. They're sweet goats. And the cows, the Angus cows, went to freezer camp. And we didn't have a hard time getting them on the trailer, which was awesome. And the livestock hauler actually had them off of the trailer and had left the butcher before we ever got there. And,
oh, wow. Okay.
Mike said they came off the trailer really easily. He said they just kind of moseyed off. It's like he could tell they've been handled and cared about. They didn't just like bolt off the trailer. So we have scheduled Claire to be bred next summer. He has a registered Hereford bull, a registered Hereford bull. So we have scheduled a date for Claire to go visit his farm for a month or two.
For a date.
A hot date. Yeah, he's a big bull. So I hope she grows quite a bit between now and then. Let's see, what else? We've got snow. Christmas is coming. It is holiday season. I've started baking and making my list of all the baking that I need to do. Yeah.
So what, do you bake and freeze stuff ahead of time, or?
Usually I'll bake the cutout cookies and I'll freeze them until we decorate them.
Okay.
Or until we're ready to decorate them. Then the rest of the stuff, I mean, it's already December 7th.
I know. It is kind of crazy.
So I have this list of things I would like to make to do, like goodies for neighbors and friends and stuff. Just if I can get to it, that would be great.
That's right.
But my schedule has just kind of been, it's like I go to schedule to do something, like I put something on my schedule, I'm going to do this, but then I don't want this to sound bad. I have other people who either come to the farm to purchase something, or to do something, and they either show up late or stay longer than I intended.
You thought, yeah.
And
right.
It's like, okay, I can't get into the kitchen now, so.
Right.
Which is fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
I am very thankful for the people that do come and buy soap. So.
Yeah. I know, it's hard, because you see, okay, like, it's like, Thanksgiving's almost here, you're like, oh, I have all this time. And then all of a sudden it's like, Christmas is here, never mind. Didn't have any time.
Didn't have any
It's
time.
like weird. Yeah, it seems like it's so long, and like, oh, I don't even need to start yet because it's so far out, and then all of a sudden it's here.
Randy did get a deer. He got a very nice 8-point buck.
Yeah.
So that also took up some of the time that I was going to be in the kitchen. It was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you had going on? You guys have a...
Not as much as that. We did put, I wanted to put a roof on my chicken run, just so I don't have to like dig it out like I did last year with all the snow, because that was like a huge pain. And they did, so whatever. So we put Luke got free roofing material through work, which was nice.
Nice.
I think from a building they tore down or something. I'm not exactly sure. So he brought that home. Him and his brother and his dad worked on getting the trusses up and started all that. It's basically done. It just needs to be kind of buttoned up. I can already tell it's very nice because it has snowed a couple times and there hasn't been snow in there. So
they
and
probably
it's not
love
even,
that.
Yeah, because they don't because then I was putting hay in there, or straw, not hay. So that because they were just like spoiled and wouldn't come out, but I didn't want them in the coop all day making a mess. So I was like trying to get them to go outside. So that'll be a lot easier this year. And then I can put the food. I usually put their food outside, but I can't if it's raining or something, obviously. So now I can with that. So that'll be better.
Nice.
So so we did that. We had Thanksgiving, obviously. So that was fun, visiting with family. We hosted. I don't know if we talked since then on here. I can't remember.
I know we've texted back and forth and
it's like I mix up was that on here or was that like on the
Yeah. I don't think we've talked since Thanksgiving.
Okay. Yeah, we picked up we got a half a pig from a local lady, so we got that. So been getting my freezers organized because then I'm getting half a cow from you guys.
Yes.
So, I actually just yesterday canned up. I had all my summer tomatoes in one of the freezers in
Yeah.
Ziploc baggies, frozen. So I just canned all those yesterday to try to make space.
Cool.
Yeah, I had jury duty for like a week, so that kept me busy every day. So I'm just getting off of that. Yeah, my last day was actually this earlier this week. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's really about it. Like any like big things. So,
I did try something new. I dehydrated some of my sourdough starter.
oh, okay. How did that go?
Good so far. I think it's all dried out enough that I can seal it up, and I don't know if I should just put it in. I have to figure out, do I put it in a jar or do I put it in the freezer? Do you know?
Oh, okay. I think people keep it in jars.
Okay, because it's dehydrated.
Are you
So
gonna are you gonna like give it as gifts or you just want some like just in case something happens?
I want it just in case something happens, because the starter that
Yeah.
I have is doing so great.
Mm-hmm.
If I do something to ruin it, I want to make sure that I can.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually almost thought I was going to lose my kombucha because I didn't have time to do anything with it. And I was like, oh no. But then I didn't even do like a second ferment. I just ended up making a new, like, a new batch or whatever because I got nervous that it was going to get unhappy without me doing anything to it for so long. But I'm like, I don't have time to mess with all this right now. So,
I stuck my SCOBY in the fridge in a sealed plastic thing. I stuck it in the fridge. I hope it's okay. It's been there for a couple months.
okay, because I read that you're not supposed to do that. Have you done that before and it was fine?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well,
Nope.
we'll see.
I haven't done that
We'll
before,
see what
so
happens.
we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I got nervous. I didn't want it to go away. So, because it's like, oh, it's funny. Like they're like little pets, like the sourdough starter and the kombucha SCOBY. Like I
Okay.
don't know.
Yep.
So,
Yes. At least with
but yeah,
the kombucha, you can kind of ignore it for a week.
yeah. Mine was going on over 2 weeks. I was like, oh dear, it's like all
Okay.
vinegar probably. Like, we
Oh.
gotta get something going on.
Yeah. I guess if your internal household temperatures are lower, um, it wouldn't ferment as fast. So that's good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that would have been good, but I got nervous that the temperatures were too low, so I wrapped it in Christmas lights
Oh.
so it wouldn't, so it would stay warm. So I didn't have
Okay.
that. Well, yeah,
That's a good idea, though.
yeah, and it looks
That's
pretty. So yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
That's cool.
So and it did keep
Yes.
it much warmer. I was surprised. I didn't know how effective it would be. But I have the little temperature strip on the side of the jar, and it was like
Yeah.
over 70 degrees just from the Christmas lights. So
Oh, that's great.
yeah. So I guess that's a little tip if someone's has a cold house like I do and they want to keep their kombucha starter warm.
Yeah. Our house has been extremely warm. Like when we have the wood stove going out here, like sometimes it
Hmm.
gets up to 86, and it's just like it's
Oh
too
wow.
hot. It is
Yeah,
too hot in here.
that's nice though. I remember those days when our wood stove was functioning. Not anymore. Now we're like 63, 64.
I thought you
But
guys got a new wood stove.
well, we have the pellet stove, but it does
Okay.
not heat the house like the wood
Oh,
stove did.
okay.
No. Like not even like no. Which you think everyone said it's gonna be because it has the fans in it to like blow the
Yeah.
heat out. So theoretically you would think it would do better, but not in our experience.
Hmm.
It's better than nothing, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's not the same.
Yes. Yes.
But that's okay. We are in a house with heat, so that is good.
You have shelter. You
Yes.
have
Yep.
shelter. That's important.
Yep. Hmm.
And layers,
That's what,
always
yeah,
throw
that's
on
what I
another.
say to Luke. Yeah, I'm like, get a sweatshirt. We'll be fine.
Get a sweatshirt.
So,
Put on some thick socks.
yeah. Yep, we got our wool socks.
Yep. Yes.
So,
Um, so shall we start talking about our topic for the week? Or for the month,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're going on a break after this episode for the holidays? Is that right, or?
Are we going to do... So we had this topic scheduled for 2 weeks ago.
I think it was, yeah, or last, yeah.
It
It got messed up because of my jury duties.
that's you have out of your control.
I had my civil duty to uphold.
I have been summoned for jury duty, but every time I've been
Oh.
summoned, I do the call-in thing, and it's like, nope, you're dismissed.
Oh,
like-
see, they don't do that in New Hampshire. You have to show up. And
Oh,
then they drew all of our names out of a drum. So out of 150 some odd people that were there, I was one of the lucky 15.
woohoo!
I should have went and bought like a lottery ticket. But
Yeah, that would be good. So we had today's topic, which is finding. I guess I don't know exactly how to word it. Finding. How do you leave the homestead for an extended
Yes.
period of time?
Yeah, leaving the homestead. Yeah.
Yes. And then the topic we had after that was holiday baking, Christmas baking.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So we're going to do one more and then we'll be on a break.
Yes, if you're good with that.
Okay. Yep.
Did you appear on another podcast again?
Well, okay. So technically, yes, but it was part of my initial interview after she did the main one. So it's the Art of Home. The Art of Home.
Yes.
So after she did the main interview, which aired over the summer, I believe, she did a separate segment of holiday specific, and then she compiles like 4 or 5 of those into one episode for specific holiday episodes.
That's
So
very
yeah,
cool.
that one just so it's fun, to listen to everyone's traditions and things like this that they do for Christmas. So
Yes.
yeah.
I haven't
So
had a
those ones are
chance to
coming up.
listen to it yet, so.
Yeah, they're nice. It's long. It's a longer episode because there's like 4 people on each one. Plus, then she gives her own little stuff in between. So, but they're really cute.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, if anyone wants to
Very
check it out.
Art of Home. Look for Mrs. Ginny White.
Well,
Ginny,
they're all good.
Sorry, I said Ginny. They're all good. Yes, they are. Okay. So
All right.
How to
So
leave
yeah.
the
So how to leave the
homestead.
Yes. So I don't have as much experience in this as you, obviously. I don't like to leave our home because I get nervous of other people. I guess I'm a little like OCD, like type A person, whatever. I don't know. I have issues, but I'm always nervous that stuff isn't going to be done like the way that I normally do it. So I don't like to leave. It makes me nervous, but obviously there's times when we have to. So, and the more animals you get, the more difficult. I mean, it's easy to leave. First of all, if you just have like a cat or something, then it's like, yeah, who cares? Just like, you can, depending on how long you're going away for, just leave them a bunch of food out and they'll be fine. Then dogs gets a little more trickier. And then if you add like outside livestock, then you really have to find a person very specific that is willing to do that. So it can get a little tricky. And you guys have the goats, the cows, you've had pigs, all that. So that's like a lot to ask of a person too. So.
And that would be why Randy and I, in the 9.5 years that we have been on the homestead, we have only left the homestead together, I believe, 3 times.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's only been 3 times that we have actually gone away together in 9.5 years. Yeah. So it is.
Yeah, I mean, I could.
The more you add. The more you add, the more difficult it does become. And while I am at a different point in my life as far as being type A, I'm a little bit more like, I know people are not going to do it the way I would do it. Randy doesn't take care of the animals the way I take care of the animals. I have gotten to the point where it's like, as long as they're fed and watered and you look at them twice a day, I'm okay.
Yep. Yep, that's true.
So.
That's, yeah. Yeah, for you guys, like, you'll have, like, goats and milk and stuff. So it's like, that's like, then you need to have not only someone that's willing to go out there and feed and water them, but someone that knows how to milk goats. And then, like, that's, yeah.
Yes.
So I can see why it's very minimal for leaving. Because even with just the chickens, like, I think I've only left, besides with Luke being here, so Luke and I together, I think have only left twice. One was last December for Ashley's wedding.
Yeah.
And that was very hard to find someone to come. I ended up paying a lot of money for some girl to come, and I'm not sure she knew what was happening. So when I got back, I was like, oh, hopefully the chickens ate while I was gone. So
yeah, it's we've been very fortunate. Well, we are very fortunate with the person that we have who is our farm sitter, homestead sitter, because she loves goats. She's who we bought our first 3 goats from. So she loves goats.
Okay.
Kim, she loves all animals. And she's looking forward to. We're going away this year. Randy and I are going together, and she's looking forward to some downtime, like she can come here and chill and have lots of goat therapy, and kitty therapy now too, and doggy therapy. Can't forget the dogs. But I have heard horror stories from friends who just dogs. Where the people did not take care of the dogs, and the dogs ended up sick. So it's scary. And you're opening yourself up to trust issues.
Right.
I already have those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So finding somebody that you trust, one, to come into your home to take care of your animals, come onto your farm to take care, or homestead, to take care of your livestock animals, you really have to vet that person thoroughly.
Yeah, and some people are fortunate enough to have like family, but then at the same time, I'm like, well, that's a lot to ask a family member, so that's the other thing you have to kind of gauge too.
Yes.
Where did you find...
Sorry.
I knew she was a dog sitter, and I asked her. She dog sat for us before. She was a friend. She dog sat for some family member's friend's friend. So very kind of detached, but at least somewhat, known. So she dog sat for us before, and that was fine. So then I asked her, oh, well, we have chickens now. We need a sitter again. No, I have chickens. Whoever has chickens, I know. I'm like, okay, cool. So she said it was fine, but then I don't know if it was different than what she had envisioned or what. So, but yeah. Where are places that you would suggest people look for the appropriate person?
So I'm going to say, do not put an ad on Craigslist.
No.
No. I would check with your neighbors, check with neighbors. So as a teenager growing up, I did a lot of house sitting for people myself. So I watched people's cats and dogs. And when I was in the Coast Guard, I actually house sat for a lot of the chiefs that were on the Coast Guard base. And I ended up house sitting for one of our chiefs that had ferrets.
Oh.
He had dogs and ferrets, and that was a unique experience. And so having house sat for people or pet sat for people where I actually stayed in their home and took care of their animals, and then went to work, and then I knew that it was going to take a lot to find somebody trustworthy. I'm going to suggest checking with your local high school ag programs, like 4-H kids or FFA kids. They probably have their own animals that they have to care for, but they may be able to work it into their schedule to check on your animals. Neighborhood teenagers, and times have changed. Teenagers are different today than they were, say, not to date myself, 30, 40, 35 years ago. Kids are different. However, some kids still do have a really great work ethic. So I would suggest that if there's a homesteading farming group on Facebook in your local area, ask for recommendations in that group. But I would definitely when you get a name, do not like a complete background check, but I would definitely get referrals or recommendations from other people for whoever you're asking to stay in your home, or to care for your animals. Because you have dogs, cats, and chickens, and that is something somebody's going to come into your home. You want to know that you can trust them, and you also want to know that a teenager's not going to have a raging party in your house. I never did that, so I'm not going to say I didn't have a boyfriend come over, but I never had parties in people's houses.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And did you say 4-H?
Yeah, I said 4-H and FFA. Okay. I don't know if there's other ag type of groups. Right. Yeah, depending on where your area is. Yeah. Check with your veterinarian. They may. Oh yeah. They may know of some kids that are responsible who want to help out. Or some of their staff might even do it on the side. Right. Yes. So, especially if you're willing to pay. Right. And apparently you paid really well. It was. Yeah. Well, then then I got sprung. Oh, well, I didn't know how much it would take for me to do the chickens. Really, I should have asked for this much money. Can you give me extra? I'm like, I guess so. So on that note about she didn't know what it was going to take, I do also write out a detailed list of what chores need to be done. Oh yeah. Yep. Like the times of days, I give them a range. I don't say like you have to be out there at 6 a.m. It's like between this hour and this hour, just they get this much feed, they get fresh water, they get fresh bedding. I'm not asking them to muck stalls or muck out the entire barn, but just like make sure there's a fresh layer of bedding on the ground. And then if any animal looks sick, please call me. Right. As soon as you notice something's off, call me, call my vet, call, like, there's other farmers in the area, and I can be like, hey, call this person. Prime example, when Randy had his accident. Oh, yes. Fortunately, you and Melinda were here. Yes. And we went to the hospital, and I called my friend Brandy, who had raised goats, and she and her husband came down and helped you guys. Yeah, because we could handle the food and the water. The milking of the goat, we were like, Yeah, and I think it had been a while since Brandy, I think it's been a while since she had milked a goat, too. I think so, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was funny. Was she drinking? My gosh. Was she drinking before she got there? No, just kidding. I'm like, maybe.
Oh no, her and her husband were like cracking us up. It was just like, oh my gosh, controlled chaos.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys. So
No, it was good. Yeah, I'm glad we were there because at least
yeah,
to
me
help
too.
with. Yeah, that was crazy.
Nothing like accidents during COVID.
Yeah, seriously.
Um, so my number one recommendations are like vet the person that you're, and by vet I mean get references, find out what
Hmm.
kind of experience they have, if they have any experience, but also if they really have an interest in an animal or animals, it may just be a learning experience for them because I had never pet
Hmm.
sat ferrets before. I was like,
Right.
what do I do with these things? So just make sure that you leave a detailed list for what they need to do, and make sure that if 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 they're being paid, make sure that you agree upon upfront what it is, and make sure they
Hmm.
understand that this is what's expected of them, and so that you don't come home and say, "Oh, it was more than I anticipated. Can you pay me more?"
Hmm.
I wouldn't have the balls to do that to somebody. Sorry.
No, I wouldn't. Even if it was like a horror show and I was like, wow, that was awful. I never want to do that again. Like,
Yeah, it'd be like chalk it up to I agreed on this
just,
amount. That's
yeah, won't, if she asks me again, I'm going to say no.
yeah,
But yeah, I think too, like in addition to having the list, if it's possible, which I would think in most circumstances it would be, I would want the person to come over, like so I could physically just kind of show them everything. This is where
yes,
this is what this looks like, because if especially if they've never been to your property before, it's hard to if you're to just take a list, like if you don't actually get like a little mini
yes,
walkthrough. So,
yes.
or
I'm
like
sorry, I
sometimes you
left
have a
that out.
gate. Yeah, because if you have
Hmm.
like a door or something,
Yeah,
oh, it's funny, you gotta jiggle it or whatever. Just like little things, that you can show them when they're there.
yes. Like make sure you put the carabiner back on, or else Cora will open the gate and go to the feed, and then you'll come in the next time, and there will be no feed.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah,
that I think is important.
yes,
And
I
then that'll
agree.
help you feel more comfortable with the person being there anyways, too, just to have met
Yeah,
them in person. Because it's a lot to
yes,
leave someone in charge of your animals. Like, it's just, yeah, a lot of faith.
yeah.
So,
No, it's yeah. I am extremely thankful for Kim. It's the good news is that she wants to be like in her retirement years. That's what she wants to do, or at least that's what she
oh,
used to want to do. Hopefully, she still does. The closer she gets to retirement, she may change her mind.
yeah,
But it would be nice if that's if she continued.
right.
Yeah. And that's, she comes over frequently, and then maybe that's why I forgot to say, make sure that they're on your property ahead of
Yeah,
time, because she's here so much that she knows she can do chores without me.
right.
I don't have to leave her a list. She can just do them.
Yeah,
I am going to leave a list just to make sure, but
yeah.
also the good thing is that she'll be doing chores. There'll be one more less chore for her to do when she comes, because the chickens will be gone. The meat
Oh,
chickens will be
yeah.
gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think just another thing to keep in mind is if you do find a good person that does a really good job and you want to keep them coming back, like treat them really well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
because you don't want them to not want to come back again. So,
Correct. Correct. That is for sure. That is definite. There are some people who will farm sit or homestead sit for you, and they will say that they don't need pay.
oh,
So they are rewarded in other ways,
yeah.
like
Well, yeah.
chicken, turkey,
Yep.
eggs,
Yep.
sourdough bread.
Right.
If they want some kombucha, if they want some soap, hey, sure, take it all.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so reward them well. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I think the other good thing that writing the lists out and stuff, just like it's not necessarily going to help with leaving the homestead, but it kind of helps you reevaluate like what your process is, and if something like is way too complicated that you can't even write it down on a list for someone to do, you can kind of be like, wait, is there a way that I can simplify this? So that's another kind of good thing I think about having writing out the list, because when you're just doing it every day, you might not realize like, why does this take 10 steps when it should be like 2. So
Yes. Yep. Yes. And also having somebody farm sit for you in the winter. They need to know which water pipes can be used and which water pipes cannot.
oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
We have no water out there, so
right now
you can
we
use
have
no water.
no water, all buckets from the house.
Yes.
Which is what I'm currently doing for the boy goat barn, is I'm filling buckets in the house with warmer water so that when I go fill the goat water out there, it'll melt any ice. So so Kim will be using the 4-wheeler to make sure they're able to use whatever tools you have for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think that's all I have.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just looking at your notes. So you said to leave emergency numbers. So you mentioned the farmers, the other things. You should probably call your vet too and just tell them, hey, I'm leaving town. This person is in charge of my animals. I give them permission, or I give you permission to treat my animals under their care. Because having worked at a vet before, there were times this probably depends on the practice's particular policy, but we wouldn't treat an animal if we didn't have written permission, or at least able to get the owner on the telephone beforehand. So usually I leave a letter with my contact, and I sign it. This person has permission to bring my animal in, and I call the vet and just give them a heads up. So I would do that even with like, because you don't want
cats,
right, anything. So, because if you're somewhere you don't have service or whatever, it's a time zone difference, like who knows? So, that would not be good.
No, and actually you could be somewhere where the power goes out. So,
right.
And they can't get a hold of you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
just to cover your bases.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to be trying to find someone, because I would like to be able to go places with Luke. Even when I'm going to be going up to your house, soon-ish, to pick up the beef. And I'm like, wow, it'd be really cool if you could come with me. But I'm like, who's going to watch all the animals? So, I may do some investigations. It's harder in the winter, too, because then they got to trudge through snow and everything. It makes me feel worse. I think that's part of my problem, is I feel bad asking people to do stuff. So.
Yeah. Yes. Well, this is going to sound mean. I told Randy that I'm going with her without him. So he has a choice. He can either go with me, and we can ask him, or I'm going by myself.
Right. So. Yep. Well, that's why, I usually just go by myself.
Yeah.
No, but you guys are going for Christmas, right? This is your Christmas trip that you're talking about? Yeah.
This is our Christmas trip.
Yeah.
It is. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
He hasn't seen the kids since their wedding.
Right. And
they're still kids.
It's going to be a year next week, right? Next week is the 1-year anniversary.
It'll be just over a year since he's seen them, and I went down in March, and I'm trying to remember if David was home. Yeah, David was home when I went down, and then I saw them in Chicago for the marathon. So I've only seen them twice since the wedding.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? They're kids. They're adults. They're adults, and they have their own lives, and I am thankful they have each other,
Mm-hmm.
and I am also thankful that they are independent and strong-minded. And while it's not that I don't want Ashley to need me, I'm here if she does need me.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I've never lived away from home, so it's like a whole different like I don't live at home obviously now. I live with my husband, but I live in the area of home.
Right.
So it's just like
Yeah.
a whole different concept to me. I'm like, "Oh my gosh," like so.
So I moved away from home at 19,
Right.
and my last year was the first Christmas I had with my parents in since 2009.
Hmm. Yeah.
It was a long time.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like that's
It's
more and more common nowadays. People just like branch out and go to different. I'm like, yeah, I'm just a New Englander, not leaving New England.
that's fine. That's fine.
So as much, yeah, I don't love the winter, but I don't want to leave all my family. So
Cool.
yeah,
Yes.
and the trees and all that jazz. So
I used to not like winter, and then I met Randy. Now I like winter.
oh, really?
Yeah, I don't like to be
Yeah.
cold though.
No, I don't like to be cold. I don't like any winter activity. Like I don't like skiing. I don't like snowboarding. No, I like to look at the snow from inside and say, "Oh, that looks pretty."
It's so pretty
That's about it.
outside.
Yeah. Glad I'm not out there.
I used I used to downhill ski up until Ashley was probably 3 or 4, and then
Hmm.
now I'm just getting old and cranky and don't want to be cold.
Yeah. I feel like I might enjoy snowshoeing.
Mm.
I want to maybe try it. Although I've
Hey,
heard it's very hard, but it seems like something that might be fun every once in a while. Someone
I
was
hear it's
asking
a
me if I wanted to go ice fishing. I was like, no. I do not want to sit on a frozen piece of ice and stare at a hole in the ice. No. No, thank you.
I've heard snowshoeing is a good leg workout.
Mm-hmm.
I have no desire to go ice fishing. Um, yeah, give
Yeah.
me a cabin with a wood stove and I'm good to go.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Yeah, the only winter thing, which isn't really even the winter, is that I like to do is maple syrup making, but that's like almost springtime by the time you're doing that. So
Yeah,
a lot of times here we don't even have snow on the ground anymore when I'm doing that. So or it's like on its way out.
yeah. That's
So
how it was last year. It was more muddy than anything.
yeah, last year was a weird season for it.
Yeah.
It was like very short and it was a weird maple syrup season.
I am really looking forward to maple season this year because I have a half-gallon jar, mason jar, with about that much left. Like that's
Oh,
all I have, and it's like,
yeah.
oh,
That's not going to last you.
yeah.
Yeah, I already had to start buying some because I didn't even make maple syrup last year, which was like a huge regret. Shouldn't have done that.
Don't
I'll
skip
never
maple
not do it
season.
again. No, I won't again. That was not good decision. So, yeah.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right. So we'll
So
be
shall
back
we?
then. Are we going to be back next week or the week after?
So I am good if we want to do next week because the week after is the 21st, right?
Yeah, so let's do next week and then we'll take our holiday break and then we'll be back after the new year. Okay, so that sounds good. So next week on the 14th, we'll be back, or what? That's when we'll record, and we'll talk about holiday baking, and then we'll take our little break, and then we'll be back again in the new year, which I guess maybe we'll call that season two, because it'll be the second year, new year. So yeah, I think that's about it. So we thank you guys for listening to us. If you did enjoy the episode, if you wouldn't mind giving us a kind review, 5 stars, all that jazz on whatever podcast app that you're listening to. You can also find us on Instagram at Figuring Out Homestead Life. You can find Allison at Zig and Vine Homestead on Instagram and on YouTube. You can find her there as well, where you can watch the video version of the podcast. So you can see how beautiful Allison looks today, and I look all decrepit. You can also find me on Instagram and YouTube. I am Mrs. White Homemade Life, and we thank you guys, and we will be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.